in the Super Bowl. Then, if you're asking, why do Brady's Bucks start so slow and then get great? The answer is simple. Do not miss it. We will decide everything in this hour. And then, Carson Wentz really isn't going to like the first words that will be said about him on this program today. You will hear them in this hour as we get up with you starting right now. What a weekend this was if you are a football fan. Greeny and Rex are here, and the regular Monday crew is all together. Dan Orlovsky is ready to go. Ryan Clark is fired up and ready to go. We will get you to the College Football Playoff Committee and the decisions that they made, but we begin with the game of the night. Super Bowl preview could be first ever meeting between Patrick Mahomes and Drew Brees. We all know about the injuries Brees is coming back from, and Dan, early on, he was struggling.
Yeah, you just see a little hesitancy here, and that waiting for that receiver to beat man coverage. That ball floats, and it's an early turnover for this Saints offense.
Chiefs would turn it into a touchdown, 7-0 Kansas City, and then they add to that Travis Kelce from 1 yard out.
I love the tempo. They got out of the huddle quickly, quick snap, just kick it to Kelce. Blockers out in front, early 14-0 lead.
That's his 600th career reception. It's 14-7 in the final 20 seconds of the half. And then, Dan, what is Demarcus Robinson doing back here?
Being careless with the football. I mean, that's the last thing you could do here is to fumble this ball away. It gets punched out, and all of a sudden, Anzalone's got an easy touchdown. You got into the cradle position. Fall on your side as you go chase that football and kind of pull it into your belly. This should be a touchdown for the Saints special teams.
Instead, it's a safety, so it's 14-9 instead of potentially 14-all at the half. Third quarter, same score. Brees starting to cook.
Yeah, just his great protection and then patience by Brees. You see the Brees and then the drift and then the touch throw to Latavius Murray as he leaks out, finds that front pylon. Saints finally score a touchdown.
They take the lead. They go for the two. They don't get it. So it's 15-14. And then Patrick Mahomes, how do we describe this?
I can't. Like, there's no words for me to use. The drift, the patience, the throw, the touch, and then the ability for Hardman to just track that thing in the back pylon and drag both feet. It's absolute greatness.
21-15 Kansas City, and then here we go. How about some more creative offense? It's the option play.
Yeah, just great feel. You put that defensive end in a bind, and then the ability to have that late pitch by Patrick Mahomes is just awesome.
29-15 ball game, right? Wrong. Here comes Alvin Kamara.
This is a great little jet sweep. They catch it, give it to him. He gets out in space with Lee Brockers out in front. You need more touches for 41.
So it's 29-22. Then here's a terrible moment for Kansas City. Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes down and stays down. Adam Schefter is reporting this morning they expect him to miss the rest of the regular season. Chiefs would kick a field goal. It's a 10-point game. Then it's Brees not giving up.
It's a great throw. He's got the seam route versus man coverage, holds that single high safety, just enough touch on that throw to get in the end zone.
But they would choose not to onside kick. They kick it to Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes, they are the one team that in the 4-minute Rex, they throw the ball.
Yeah, they do, because they have the best player on the planet. And every single time they do it, here they actually ran.
They throw it for one first down, they run it for another, and in the end, Mahomes and Brees each throw 3 touchdowns, and it is Kansas City that holds off the Saints on the road 32-29. Drew Brees finishing the day, completing 44% of his throws. That's the third lowest in any game in his career, his worst since 2006. He started the game 0 for 6 with an interception. Of course, we should make clear, again, in case you forget, that he was coming back from all of those injuries with the broken ribs and the lung. And so I guess I would ask you, Rex, now that we have seen the game play out, did they make the right decision starting Brees?
100% yes, they did. Absolutely. Look, he had to get this game in. He had to get hit. He's got to know now that, you know what, I'm okay. I mean, he's coming off of 11 fractured ribs, and he had to get these hits. I don't care how many, he had to get them. He got through it, and as the game went on, he got better and better, and he played with more confidence. Absolutely right decision.
And so, look, if you're a team like the New Orleans Saints, there are no moral victories. But, Ryan Clark, if you were the Saints walking out of that stadium yesterday, do you feel mostly good or mostly bad?
No, you walk out of that stadium confident. You walk out of that stadium feeling bad because you lost, but feeling good because you know if you play any mere mortal, you win that game. You look at Trey Hendrickson, Gardner Johnson, Marcus Williams. These guys played out of their mind defensively for the New Orleans Saints yesterday. It was just that you were playing against Patrick Mahomes. And listening to you and Dan and watching the highlights of seeing Patrick Mahomes drift to his left, throw the ball to the back pylon, and Mecole Hardman drag both feet, that doesn't happen every day. You don't play teams that have those types of athletes. And so when those things happen, you say, you know what? They got that one. But that one was on them. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the New Orleans Saints yesterday. The New Orleans Saints didn't beat themselves. And on a day when your quarterback, your future first ballot Hall of Famer, was extremely mortal, right? 0 for 6 to start. Interception very early. You can see that he wasn't necessarily in the flow. He finds ways to make plays later. You make plays on special teams. You force the fumble on Patrick Mahomes in the pocket to give yourself an opportunity to win this game. The New Orleans Saints understand that they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They got their quarterback the first game, and it wasn't the first game against any old team. It was your first game against the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champs, the team that's favored to win it again this year with a quarterback that's playing out of his mind. If you're the New Orleans Saints, you say you line them up and we will knock them down in the NFC because we are that good. And you feel that way this Monday morning after a loss.
You look like you agree, Dan.
The Saints should feel great, but this isn't the story of the game. This is Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes will not allow this football team to lose a meaningful game this season. Do not take watching greatness for granted. I mean, yesterday was the perfect setup for failure. Playing on the road against the number one defense in the NFL, a great defensive line pass rush, 3 starting offensive linemen out. Still wasn't enough. I mean, they hit Patrick Mahomes on half of his pass attempts, right? Everyone always says the way to stop Patrick Mahomes, hit him. The way to stop any great quarterback, hit him. You got to get him out of the pocket. You got to force him to be uncomfortable. They did that, and it still wasn't enough. Because in the second half, when third down presents itself, he's the difference. And I don't know if there's another quarterback in the NFL that wins that game with 3 offensive linemen out. We can't take watching what Patrick Mahomes does for granted. It's greatness.
So I'm going to check on Ryan and make sure that he's okay. Meanwhile, Rex, I'll come back to you quickly because the Saints score that touchdown. They get it within 3, just outside the 2-minute warning, and then they kick off, and they never get the ball back. And if you're the coach in that situation, do you try the onside kick?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you blast it through the end zone. That's your best shot. Now, I get where everybody's coming from. Yes, you got Patrick Mahomes over there, but this isn't like the onside kicks that we're used to. Like, nobody recovers them now. I think it's almost impossible. So, to me, they made the right decision. I'll tell you who never made the right decision.
Yes.
The Kansas City Chiefs. You've got to feel that kickoff, and that way it burns the 2-minute.
Right.
They let it go. It was like, so it actually ended up being this was a perfect scenario. But, man, if you're the Chiefs, but this happens. Andy Reid, all those things, nobody notices the mistakes he makes because you have Patrick Mahomes. But clearly, anybody else, if you would have lost the game, would be like, why the heck didn't he return that ball?
Yeah, it was about 2:06 left, and he doesn't come out with it there. And so that it is. Dan, final thought as we go on to the Buccaneers here in just a moment. Final thought on this, the Chiefs, you said that no one's going to beat them in a meaningful game this year. Either conference, there's just no stopping Patrick Mahomes?
No, I think that it's one of those situations where he will not allow it. Like he will will his football team to that victory. And it's specifically because when they need him to play his absolute best football, like this plays a perfect example, Greeny. The defense wins this rep. Like, this is a great call, and it's great execution. You force a righty quarterback to his left. He's got to drift, hold the football, and he has basically a 3-foot by 3-foot square to throw that ball. It has to be perfect, and he does. Like, how many quarterbacks are in the NFL? Maybe one with Aaron Rodgers that do that on a consistent basis. That's why.